Yo, what's up, guys? We're back for another breakdown and predictions video. This week we got UFC Louisville. It's a pretty good card, man. I'm actually excited for this card. It's headlined by Jared Cannonier and Nasruddin Imavov, two middleweights that are right near the title picture. So, really excited to break this fight card down and hit the like button, man. Let's try to get as many likes as I can for this video. So if you're listening right now, make sure to hit that like button. Let's get over 100 likes. I would really appreciate a little bit more interaction on this video. So hit that like button. I would really appreciate that, man. And yeah, man, let's get into these fights though. First fight of the night, Puja Tomar taking on Rayanne Amanda. Tomar, she's gonna make history. She's gonna be the first Indian female to step into the octagon, and 8-4 record. So she doesn't have a great record, but she's won 4 fights in a row. Number one ranked female fighter in India, and I feel like obviously the UFC sees something in her to give her this opportunity to come in here, represent a country that they're trying to kind of get popped off. And I know Anshul Jubli, his debut didn't go down well, but Tumar, it's someone that the UFC thinks could get the job done and kind of push India potentially, in my opinion. And she's going to be taking on Rayanne Amanda, who's going to be motivated for this fight because this is her third opportunity to get a win under the UFC banner. So you could look at that as motivation, as pressure. But she fought in the Contender Series in 2022, had a pretty good fight, but lost that fight to Denise Gomes. She then won 3 fights in a row. She won the Invicta FC title. I'm sure her confidence was really sky high, and she signed with UFC and lost again via split decision to Alita Alankar, where a lot of people feel like Amanda won that fight, but she didn't get the win in terms of the judges, and now she kind of has her back against the wall here a little bit to avoid going 0-2 in the UFC, and she's a big favorite, so I don't necessarily agree. I don't think that she justifies the line, but overall Amanda is 14-7, so she also doesn't have the best record herself, and she's done well when she stepped up in competition level. But if you look at her record, a majority of her wins, a lot of her finishes are against bottom of the barrel competition. So, I think it's a little bit closer matchup than people are giving it credit for. But you look at both these girls' styles. For Puja Tomar, she's a good striker. She uses that bladed narrow stance. She darts in, darts out with the 1-2s. She goes to the body, to the head. Pretty good rear cross, and she likes to go rear cross to the body, to left hook to the head, and can land that pretty well. Her hands and her in and out movement, I feel like, is more technical than Amanda's, and she's going to throw some front leg attacks, good lead leg side kicks, other creative kicks. Seems like she has decent power in the right hand. I've seen her knock a few girls out with some blitzes. Most of her wins are actually knockouts. She has 6 knockout wins, and I believe she has a solid striking style for women's MMA because she has nice combos, volume, and she has a lot of good movement. So that's what you need when you're at these lower weight classes, in my opinion. Her wrestling and grappling is what's suspect, is what's going to get tested at this higher level. She got dominated on the mat by Stamp Fairtex, who's a striker. Stamp was able to take the back pretty easily when Tumar went for a throw and used heavy hips to kind of just flatten out Tumar and ground and pounder. And she was able to get up when she was taken out by B Win, but Win's older, not a good grappler. Tumar, last fight, she showed some clinch defense. She was facing this big Russian girl. So that was fairly impressive. But all of her all of her losses have been on the ground, and she's been submitted 3 times and lost via ground and pound. So been finished in all 4 of her losses as well. But she hasn't lost since 2020, and she's coming into this fight with a lot of momentum, obviously with the country on her back here. And her opponent, Rayanne Amanda, kind of a similar striking style. She has that same narrow bladed stance, throws a lot of 1-2s, overhands. She has power. She has kind of a mean streak about her, and she wants to get in there and brawl, but I feel like she's not as technical of a striker. She's just kind of more game. She's like a game athletic girl that hits hard, has fast hands. But Tomar, I think if they stand up for 3 rounds, is going to look like potentially she should have been the favorite and definitely the value side here. But Amanda, she does a good job of kind of stealing rounds with late flurries of offense, last 20, 30 seconds, and that can go your way or not go your way, which is evident from her last fight. But I think, like I said in the earlier breakdown with Tumar, Amanda has a big edge on the mat. She has several submission wins, but almost all her wins against really bad opponents and were armbars off of her back. So Amanda doesn't normally attack takedowns much. I have seen her kind of be able to get to the back from standing at times, and that's what I would be a little bit worried about if you're a Tumar backer. And I feel like if Amanda can get it to the ground, then she's going to have a decent chance to get the finish there, either via KO, TKO with ground and pound or submission. But I think there's value in Tumar, especially with the money line kind of going wild as it is. I feel like it should be closer to a pick 'em than it is like plus 300 at this point. So honestly, I think there's a decent amount of value on Tumar. I don't know how far she's going to be able to go in this division because of her size and things like that, but that's a good matchup here for her in this sense as well, because Amanda's a small girl that actually had most of her success against the higher level opponents that she's fought at atom weight. And I feel like a lot of people, and I'm kind of someone that's fallen victim to that as well, and you still kind of have to take it into account, but they see someone fighting out of India or out of a underdeveloped kind of country for MMA that struggles, and they automatically write him off. But you got to kind of think with the different lens sometimes, and when you look into Puja, she looks decently skilled, so the way I'm seeing it is the UFC wants to potentially get her in here with someone that they think she has a chance to defeat and maybe try to pop off India a little bit. So I think Tumar definitely has a chance here, and at the line, I'm gonna pick her to get the victory. So give me Puja Tumar to keep this fight standing and be superior technically with their striking and get the victory. So Puja Tumar by decision.